All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. If we could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next is the moment of silence. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Present.
Trustee Reinders. Present. Trustee Lepore.
Present.
Trustee Muller. Present. Trustee Schaller.
Present.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Present.
Mayor Nice-Troike.
Present. Next is community recognition. I'm honored to give this one today. Today we're recognizing Will County Sheriff's Deputies Jesse Espinoza and Michael Ambrosini, who are receiving the Community Guardian Award. I see Jesse sitting back there. Just to tell a little story, but on December 14th, 2025, these deputies with the Will County Sheriff's Office responded to a report of a reckless driver near 143rd Street and Cream Road. After conducting a traffic stop, they discovered the driver was an 82-year-old man with dementia who had been reported missing from Chicago earlier that day, but it was the day before. Thanks to deputies' quick action, the Chicago Police Department was contacted and the man was safely reunited with his daughter unharmed. We extend a heartfelt thank you to the two deputies, Michael Ambrosini and Jesse Espinoza, for their swift response, compassion, and dedication. Their actions reflect the care and commitment they show our community every day. And so thank you for your service. We have two plaques. I know Mr. Deputy Espinoza is not here, Ambrosini is not here. But Jesse, if you could come up, she could receive your plaque. I'm going to give you both. Take a little photo. Let's come over.
Think we should stand for us?
Thank you. You have anything to say?
I'm going to keep this brief, but thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everyone. It's appreciated. It's not often that we get this, appreciation and thank you. So, but yeah, we're doing our jobs, and but I will say this: that oftentimes, people they don't call, and that saying, if you see something or you hear something, call. And now, it should also be noted that the complainant, or the person that called, was the mayor. The mayor had called.
I was trying to keep that secret, but
oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, no,
that's
but,
okay.
but that's. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you called because, like I said, people don't call often. They don't. But at the time, I did not know that it was you. Yeah, just thank you again. I know you have an agenda, so I appreciate it. Thank you. We appreciate it. And like you said, Deputy Ambrosini wasn't able to be here, so.
Yes,
yeah,
you guys did an amazing job, and the reason we wanted to do this is because of everything that's going on in the world today.
Yes.
The police officers don't get the recognition that they deserve, and you guys took this seriously. You guys just didn't blow off the phone call, and you reunited a family. I was there. I witnessed when they got reunited with the family. They were so happy. You got hugs. I got hugs. Everybody got hugs. It was a really good, feel-good moment. Yes. So we just really wanted to appreciate you and just say thank you and keep up the good work. And we support you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right, have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, are there any amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Holzhauser?
I'll second, Mayor.
Trustee Reinders? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, approval of minutes. Is there a motion to approve January 14th, 2026 Committee of the Whole meeting?
I'll make the motion. I'll
Trustee
second.
Muller, Trustee Mason, any discussion?
No, ma'am.
Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve January 14th, 2026 Village Board meeting?
I'll make that motion. Second.
I heard 4 people, Trustee Schaller and Mason. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
No? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Muller. Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Motion carries.
They should, but.
We're going to move on to public comment. Looks like we have Heidi Pasella.
Hello. You knew it was my last name, even though I put Heidi Hadley. But yes, I'm Heidi Pasella.
Because we asked people to sign in with their
I
real
signed
name.
in. Yes, I signed in. So I'm here tonight because 2 weeks ago, several residents and myself spoke out about the Environment Committee and who was going to chair it and co-chair it, since currently there is no one from the board on the committee. So I'm just checking in to see if it worked out with Trustee Schaller and the village president, because you had volunteered to be the chair, co-chair, or vice versa, and myself and several residents were wanting an update. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Village Manager Joe Baber.
Thank you. Illinois American Water has applied for a $577 million rate increase as of yesterday. This is coming down the road, so watch our social media sites. We're going to put out information on how to contact ICC against this rate increase. That'll be on our website, so watch for that. Once again, I'd like to thank our Public Works and Parks departments for their snow removal efforts. They do a fantastic job. This last Sunday I was out and our roads were clear. I went into Orland, I went into Tinley, and they were nowhere near in the condition that our roads were in. So I want to thank those guys. They're out there all the time, and kudos to them. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you.
Oh, and I'm sorry, once again, people remember, take your cars off the street if there's 2 inches of snow, please, so that it can clear the streets. We do have a few of them that don't, that haven't moved their cars. So just a reminder. Thank you.
Thank you. Village Trustees, Trustee Holzhauser.
Sure, thank you, Madam Mayor. Just real quick, just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight and hope everyone's staying warm. I would just like to shout out 2 businesses I had the opportunity to do ribbon cuttings at, and those are Aga Sweets and Family Walk, both outstanding, and I highly recommend. So please, if you have the opportunity, check them out. Shop local.
Thank you. Trustee Lepore.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to say, with all the bad weather we've been having and snow and everything, I just want to say that Public Works has been doing a fantastic job. As always, those guys are out there doing what we need to have done in order to keep our community safe and get everyone on the roads to work. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Trustee Mason.
Thank you, Mayor. Everybody's stealing my thunder. Thank you, Public Works, for the snow removal. You guys have done a great job. I can't thank you enough. I always felt like my subdivision was one of the last ones that gets done, but it's actually been nice and early and tidy. And I also drove around and looked at the other subdivisions, and I think the guys did a great job. As far as the village manager mentioning the ICC and the IAW, please contact them. Let them know we oppose this rate hike. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Reinders.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to take a moment to address the presentation from the Code Group regarding the first phase of the revisions to Heritage Park, which include the Veterans Memorial, a splash pad, a pavilion, and picnic areas with a projected cost of $3.9 million. I believe there are several misconceptions about this project that need to be clarified. The Parks Master Plan has included improvements to Heritage Park as far back as 2019, when Tria Architecture was working alongside then Village Manager Carrie Freeling to plan for the park's future. In 2024, based on continued resident input and the original vision that already included expanded amenities, the Parks and Recreation Committee revised the master plan. During that process, it became clear that these improvements would need to be completed in phases. We worked very closely with our veterans to capture their vision for the Veterans Memorial. We carefully listened to our residents' feedback about what they wanted to see in their community park. The first phase reflects years of planning and community involvement and long-term goals, not a sudden or rushed proposal. I have listened to and read the concerns being shared on social media surrounding this project. While community input is always welcome and encouraged, venting anonymously does not improve Homer Glen. Constructive dialogue moves our community forward, not intimidation or misinformation. At the last village board meeting, Engineer Westcott stated, and I quote this, "We clearly still have a lot of work to do to evaluate what we can afford and what we can scale back on. But until the bids come back with the cost to build, we cannot make that determination." The $3.9 million figure is not a final cost. It is a planning estimate that allows the village to be shovel-ready for bidding and grant opportunities. We are actively pursuing grants and private donations from corporations and foundations to help offset a portion of the projected expense. Questions have also been raised about why Homer Glen does not have a separate park district. A park district is governed by a separate elected board and has the authority to levy taxes and special assessments. Many residents may not realize the impact that this could have on their property taxes. For an average home in Homer Glen, this could mean an additional $500 to $600 per year in additional taxes. Larger homes could see an increase of roughly $1,200 to $1,300 annually, and that does not include the additional program and registration fees. With a population of roughly 24,000 residents, I believe that would place a significant burden on our community. Concerns have also been raised about water bills and why funds are not being redirected to reduce those costs. Unfortunately, water rates are regulated by the Illinois Commerce Commission, and only the state legislature has the authority to change those laws governing them. This board continues on a daily basis to explore ways to seek relief, but the ultimate control rests with the state level. The Parks and Recreation Committee remains committed to providing high-quality amenities that enhance our family life, strengthen our community connections, and maintain the quality of life that makes Homer Glen such a great place to live. We welcome your questions, we encourage residents to attend our meetings, and we invite everybody to engage in open and respectful dialogue as we continue planning for the future of our parks. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Reinders. Trustee Muller?
I'm jumping back on the Public Works bandwagon. They did, as always, an outstanding job, so I have nothing else.
Trustee Shaler?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to go along with everyone else and Administrator Baber regarding our Public Works Department, again, knocking it out of the park. And Madam Mayor, I'm ready for that Environmental Committee to say the word.
I know you are. I know you are. All right, Madam Clerk?
Okay, please refer to the willcountyclerk.gov website for updates to vote by mail, drop box locations. Early voting begins on February 1st at the Will County Clerk's office. February 5th is also the first day to vote by mail. Early and grace period voting at Homer Township begins March 2nd through March 6th from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. Saturday, March 7th from 9 a.m. until noon, and March 9th through March 13th from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. Some exciting news. Lockport Township High School's dance team made history for LTHS this past weekend. They placed first at sectionals. This is the first time in history for them. The team will compete this Friday at Grossinger Arena. The top 10 will qualify for day 2. LTHS boys bowling finished second place at sectionals this past Saturday. They will be competing at the IHSA state finals this weekend in O'Fallon. The boys wrestling won the Southwest Suburban Conference tournament and title this past Saturday, and they start regionals this weekend. Our Homer Junior High cheer team participated at the Spartan Showdown competition this past Sunday and took second place. State competition is just around the corner for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Village Attorney?
Just real briefly, I spoke with Joe Baber, the village manager. We're going to be posting a position for a legal intern. What's neat about this is that Illinois Supreme Court Rule 711 allows for senior law students to have the privilege to limitedly and restrictedly practice law. under the supervision of a qualified attorney, which I would qualify as being, provided that you're working for a division, a political subdivision of the state, which the Village of Homer Glen qualifies for. So that's going to be a neat opportunity. We're going to be posting it at a couple of the City of Chicago law schools, and we'll see what the, thanks, Joe. Yeah, it's going to be at no cost. It's going to be an unpaid position, just an opportunity for a senior law student to get involved, to get their sea legs moving towards potentially a career in government service. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Public safety officials? Nope, okay. And then that leaves me. Okay, just a couple of things. With Facebook and clarity of what the COW meetings are, the Committee of the Whole meetings, they're abbreviated as COW. We're going to start doing Committee of the Whole meetings more often, just so the public knows what's going on. The residents had asked for more transparency, and they want to know more what's coming through these doors, the phone calls that are made. That is the reason why we had that meeting prior to this meeting. No votes are taken in Committee of the Whole when it's a workshop. This is just when we find out about something. Is if you watch the meeting that just took place, you'll hear Trustee Mason say he met with the developer. You'll hear Trustee Reinders. We can't all meet the developers at the same time. Only 2 voting members can meet with 1 person at a time. So instead of having this gentleman that was here before us meet 2 on 2 on 2 on 2, we just have him come here. This way we hear what you hear all at the same time. So yes, we are going to start posting when we know about that sooner than the day of, so the residents have a chance to make the meeting or voice their concerns, thoughts, or if they're happy about it. We want to hear from everyone. We made that promise that we're going to get it out there to the residents as soon as possible, and we're going to move forward with doing that. Trustee Reinders, you had made a statement, your report today. I want everyone to know there's just naysayers out there, right? They're going to say whatever they want. They're going to twist and turn and put their spin on anything. I like to call them the fill in the blankers, right? If they don't know the whole story, they just like to fill in the gaps to make the story sound nasty, when it's really not that. So you're going to have people that make their comments and say their things and run to Facebook. I mean, I can't even tell you, my head wants to explode when I see these things. I appreciate this board wanting to get the facts and the truth, and this village, the staff as well, to get the facts out there, because you're just going to have these nasty haters that want to just say whatever they want, which makes no sense to me because it's our community. We all live in the same community. We should be uplifting our community, talking about positive things and telling truths, not filling in blanks to make a story spin into something that it's not. In regards to sign-ins, I asked that everyone please put their real names on there because it's helpful, right? I mean, there was a time when the mayor, when Mayor Yukich was on, they put a bunch of funny names and him not knowing had read some names that were inappropriate. So I asked for documentation. If you're going to sign in, please put your real name. Fortunately for me, I knew the real last name in this situation for today. That's why I stated the real name instead of what was written down. Regarding the Environment Committee, I did reach out to one of the residents that were here that are actually on the committee that spoke. He had informed me that there was a lot of misinformation. Look at that, once again. That was given to them. They were told that they can only come to public meeting for us to hear them, that they were only allowed to come up to this podium to speak to us. I want everybody to know that's on any committee or any resident. You can call our cell phones, you can email us, you can stop in the village hall, you can call the village hall. We're accessible. People tag me on Facebook. I really don't like that because then I'm on Facebook trying to respond to a bunch of different answers all the time. But pick up a phone. Let's go back to the days of conversation. I guarantee we're a lot closer than we are apart when we talk it out. So yes, so when I did talk to the gentleman that was on the Environment Committee, he actually said, we actually like our chairman. We were just concerned because no other committee doesn't have a trustee. That also is not true. Our Homerfest has the amazing Dan Waddick, who chairs the Homerfest, and he does an amazing job. We have village manager Joe Baber, who chairs the Behavioral Health Committee. I'm on the Ability Awareness Committee, who I have a co-chair who runs it most of the time because sometimes my meetings conflict with another meeting that I have. We have 3 committees that we have residents that, again, residents want to be involved, but then yet when we put them in a chair position to fill us in and help us and grow this community, then we hear from the naysayers again saying we're not doing enough. I beg this community to come together regardless, and again, party lines don't matter to any of us on this dais. None of what we do is a party line decision. So yes, when we have misinformation about there going to our committees because there's someone trying to stir a pot, maybe a trustee does need to step in to set the record straight, and then the committee will realize that they're being told a bunch of BS once again. Trustee Schaller and I did agree that we will jump on. I'm the ex officio of every committee anyway, so I can be on it as a chair or a co-chair, or I could just sit on it as an ex officio. But I believe Trustee Schaller wants to take it, but we do want to meet with the committee first since we've got a lot of misinformation. So we want to meet with the committee to find out, and that is February 2nd, I believe, at 5:30. It's on Monday, the first Monday of every month at 5:30. So that meeting's February 2nd, which we will be at to actually talk to the committee about it. We also have the committee of the Community Development Committee that we're also working on. I know that Clerk Bilski wants to take that on along with Trustee Schaller. But I think Clerk Bilski and our staff member Amy Blank are doing a great job with getting all of the information about the sports and everything that's going on in our community. So you guys are doing a great job. So we're just going to kind of recap when you guys have your next meeting, whenever you want to call it. Okay? So that's my report for the day. So again, no more naysayers, no more lying, no more garbage out there on Facebook. It'd be greatly appreciated. Okay, moving on to consent agenda. Now, K1, consider for approval the accounts payable for the period of January 17th, 2026 through January 29th, 2026 in the amount of $642,944.19. And 2, consider for approval the treasurer's report of cash and investments for the period ending September 30th, 2025 in the amount of $52,870,201.02. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Mason, Trustee Reinders. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Muller. Aye. Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Motion carries. L1, consider for approval an ordinance amending 83-68 of the Code of the Village of Homer Glen, increasing the number of Class A liquor licenses issued within the Village of Homer Glen. It is understood that the number of Class A liquor licenses, restaurant with service bar, will increase by 1. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Mason, is there a second? I'll second. Trustee Muller, any discussion?
No, ma'am.
Trustee Muller. Trustee Schaller?
No, Mayor.
Trustee Holzhauser?
No, ma'am.
Trustee Lepore?
Nothing, ma'am.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Muller. Aye. Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Abstain.
Motion carries. Number 2, consider for approval the proposed 2026 events calendar. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Holzhauser, is there a second?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Trustee Reinders? Trustee Holzhauser, any discussion?
No, this was highly successful last year, and it's in the budget. I think we should build on that success going forward. So, thank you.
Trustee Reinders, do you have any discussion?
No, I think, I know with the foundation that we have, Mayor, that we are planning a couple events for the park, so, but nothing written in stone yet.
Okay. Trustee Schaller?
Madam Mayor, I believe, unfortunately, we're coming up to our 25th anniversary of 9/11. If it would be possible to maybe have an event regarding that
Absolutely.
Yeah.
this year.
Thank you for mentioning that. Trustee Muller? No. Trustee Holzhauser? Trustee Lepore?
Nothing, ma'am, thank you.
Since we have Dan Waddick here, is it possible to add an event for 9/11 on there?
Yeah, definitely. We can definitely look into that.
Okay, I do have just a couple of comments to make since we have the Ability Awareness Committee who has asked that we hold some events prior to. So the Ability Awareness Committee, I'm moving this way because I see a lot of people out there with cameras facing at me. So just, I mean, it's a public meeting, it could be recorded anyways. But some of the Ability Awareness Committee had asked for events to be held before the event. So just a perfect example, the trunk or treat. The Ability Awareness Committee had a 1-hour event prior to the event itself.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we did.
How did that go?
It was very successful. We had a lot of families that came out and were very touched that we put this time aside specifically for them. And I think a lot of the residents that came out respected that and appreciated that and gave the special needs families their time. So we did that, a sensory sensitive hour with trunk or treat, no music, no flashing lights, that sort of thing, and smaller crowds. And then for Homer for the Holidays, we did roughly an hour and a half with Santa in the community room here, so that they could get their pictures and have their own time, and again, low key, low lights, music, that sort of thing. So meeting with Ms. Adamczyk on Monday to discuss how we can incorporate sensory sensitive events into, or times into some of our other events.
Okay, I'm looking on this, and it's our 25th anniversary,
Yes,
our
ma'am.
birthday party this year. I don't see it on here. Am I missing it?
We don't have anything specifically planned. It's still a work in progress for our 25th anniversary, but we plan to work in different things throughout our events to celebrate our 25th.
Trustee Mason?
Is it possible for us to work that in around July 4th and or the America's birthday?
So our anniversary, our birthday anniversary, whatever you want to call it, is in April. I mean, I don't personally care. I just feel like around 4th of July, a lot of people go on vacation. Plus, that's Homerfest as well. So it'd be a lot of planning, a lot of work. I mean, maybe we can discuss it of a combination event too. Maybe just some
Mayor?
thoughts. Yes.
If I may?
Yep.
We also are, for the parade, we are going to be acknowledging the birthday of the village.
Okay.
In our parade this year.
Yes, that'll be themed.
Yeah.
And the movies Under the Stars, those are sponsored events.
Correct.
And what's this? Oh, Heritage Park. Anything else? Anybody have anything else? No? All right. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Dan, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Trustee Holzhauser?
Aye.
Trustee Reinders?
Aye.
Trustee Schaller?
Aye.
Trustee Muller?
Aye.
Trustee Lepore?
Aye.
Trustee Mason?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, moving on to L3. Consider for approval an ordinance accepting and approving a plot of dedication for public roadway purposes. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Mason?
I'll second it.
Trustee Holzhauser? Trustee Mason?
Why would we not?
Okay, Trustee Holzhauser?
No issues.
Trustee Lepore?
No issues, thank you.
Trustee Schaller?
No issues.
Trustee Muller?
No issues.
Trustee Reinders? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason?
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser?
Aye.
Trustee Muller? Trustee Schaller?
Aye.
Trustee Reinders? Trustee Lepore?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 4, consider for approval the village's continued efforts and goal to reduce the village's dependence on private utility companies and service agreements with sister jurisdictions by authorizing the submission of a fiscal year 2026 congressionally directed funding request seeking $3 million in federal funding to support the construction of a 1-mile sanitary sewer trunk line extension along 159th Street and Cedar Road, and 2, a $1 million in federal funding to provide financial relief to the village's senior citizen community burdened with high water bills. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Mason.
I'll second.
Trustee Lepore, any discussion?
Why would we not do this as well? When we can promote our own economic development, continue to help grow our expansion and our needs along 159th Street. I think this is something that is that's desperately needed, and it puts us in better standings across the board for our entire community.
Trustee Lepore?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. For the record, I'd just like to state that Illinois American Water provides approximately 6,000 households with sewer, water services in Homer Glen, and has received multiple rate increases throughout the years. Notably, IAW recently announced a planned merger with Essential Utilities in ICC docket number 25-1057. And also, just yesterday, as Manager Joe Baber briefly discussed, filed a notice for an additional rate increase. The ever-increasing costs have placed a significant financial burden on village residents and the public at large. Unlike restaurants, clothing stores, and other commercial businesses within the village, public utilities are regulated exclusively through the ICC, and state legislators given their ability to change Illinois law. The Village of Homer Glen, like all other forms of government, have little to no regulatory oversight over the utility companies in Illinois. Given this uneven playing field, the village is actively working to develop solutions to address affordability and service concerns. And this is 100% committed to obtaining meaningful relief for its residents facing rapidly increasing water bills and sewer bills. To that end, the pursuit of this congressional funding authorization will get us moving closer towards the goal through reducing the village's dependency on public utilities and intergovernmental agreements. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Holzhauser?
I guess I don't have any problems with it. I mean, it's a no-brainer to go after it. I guess my one concern would be is it's a $5.5 million project and we're getting $3 million in grant. I assume that the balance of that we've looked at going forward. And then I guess another question I would have about it would be is the other component of it is the $1 million refund, how that's dispersed. Is it, you know, based on usage? Is it based on what percentage of your bill? How all that goes out?
Sure, so I'm going to let Mr. Westcott address the question, the first half of the question, which was the funding portion.
Yeah, absolutely. We are probably about 99% done with the plan set, I would say. So we should have a pretty accurate engineer's estimate coming in here pretty soon. I would say that that should be around $3 million and around that threshold. So I think that that's an accurate ask for reimbursement for that. I think that will cover the cost of the installation of the sewer extension.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Can you, and I don't mean to jump in, but to piggyback off his question, can you elaborate or explain a little bit more how that expansion is going to help us?
Absolutely. It will extend from the existing terminus of our Fitment trunk line, which runs from Gauger to Cedar Road. The new proposed trunk line will run from Cedar Road south to 159th Street, and then will service undeveloped parcels both east and west of that intersection of Cedar and 159th Street with sanitary sewer service.
And where will those flows go?
Those flows will go they'll be treated through Lockport currently, and then inevitably will be treated by our future wastewater treatment plant.
Which unhandcuffs us from Illinois American Water, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes, it is independent.
So that's where I'm going, like with
It is independent.
I want you to own
outside.
this floor. You're taking such an initiative on this, and I'm proud of you for doing this. Own the floor, own this. This is a good thing for our community.
Independent from outside entities. It is our own public utility, the first of its kind in Homer Glen, and it's paving the way for future development, for us to be in control, not us, the village to be in control of future development, not be stifled by high rates or outside IGAs with outside entities.
And we're going for grant funding for this, so
Yes.
it's not the whole expense is not coming from the taxpayers.
Correct, absolutely. We'll be utilizing low-interest loans and federal funding throughout all these projects here. So,
EPA granting?
yes, sir.
All grants possible.
You betcha.
Trustee Schaller?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This item authorizes the village to pursue federal infrastructure funding that could help offset costs for projects we have already been planning. The proposed sewer extension addresses long-term public health and environmental considerations while supporting orderly growth along an important corridor, 159th Street. Seeking outside funding is a responsible step to reduce the burden on local taxpayers, and any acceptance of funds would remain subject to final review and compliance with all requirements. Exploring this opportunity reflects a prudent financial stewardship and due diligence on the village's behalf, and especially what this board, I believe, wants to do going forward is find as much federal grant funding and state funding that we can get our hands on.
Thank you. Trustee Muller?
Thank you. No, it absolutely unhandcuffs. It takes the handcuffs off that we're bound to Illinois American Water, and I really like the senior relief. I think that right there sums up what this entire board and community stands for, is helping the residents and especially our senior citizens.
Trustee Reinders?
Well, and I think I agree with everything that everybody said. Oh, I agree with everything that everybody said, but at the end of the day, the only way we're going to get federal funding is if we have consultants in Washington. So that seems to be the bone of contention with a lot of people these days. And they don't realize that, we're not the only village that has consultants. Every municipality on the south side and in the city of Chicago and around the city of Chicago have consultants. And they work for those municipalities and those villages to be able to get the things that they need for the betterment of their community. So it's this negativity has just got to stop. The question that this board doesn't do anything, we're sitting here tonight and we're telling you and we're informing you, we're being transparent about all these things that we're working on. And we're working hard and our staff is working hard. So it would just be nice if once we could just be appreciated for the things that we're doing and not be criticized for how we're trying to better our community. That's all I have.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, so in sum, I mean, this was not conjured up overnight. This just wasn't a one-off discussion that was had by the Village Board of Trustees in trying to figure out or trying to employ this appropriation process to alleviate the village's dependency on outside utility companies, specifically Illinois American Water. This was a very long, thought-out process. It started with early on in prior administrations agreeing to and spending the large expenditure on that Fittyman Creek sewer line, which Brett kind of shared, that currently only has one user. So that was put out, Brett, what year was that put out, that Fittyman Creek line? Sometime 2022?
21.
Yeah, 21, 22.
21.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it only has one user on that whole line right now. But so we have that existing line there. That currently we have a contract with Lockport to treat our wastewater through 2030. So what happens post 2030? Brett Westcott and his team has a plan to have a wastewater treatment plant up and functioning prior to 2030. Not at 2030, not 2031, but prior to the expiration of our agreement with Lockport, that wastewater treatment plant, Mr. Westcott has a plan and his team to have that up and running. So there's all these critical components are all part of this overall goal in order for the village to become less dependent upon public utilities. And it didn't happen overnight. It's been a long, drawn-out, well-thought process. The extension of that Cedar Road extension is going to come off of that trunk line, and it's going to open up all sorts of development, and it's going to service all sorts of unsewered communities for potential development up in that quadrant. So this is a very, very positive step for the village. And again, it's one additional step in order to get moving towards the goal of providing meaningful relief for its residents.
So my comments to this too is when this got brought up again on Facebook, because that seems to be the way people reach me. But again, conversation, phone calls, emails are always best. But people say, grant funding, what is it? Federal, state, where does it come from? And then you explain it to them and they say, well, that's still taxpayer dollars. But in the big scheme of things, when you have state grants or federal grants, think about it this way. That money is going to be spent somewhere, whether it be downstate, the city of Chicago, New Lenox, it could be gone anywhere. Wouldn't we want that money put in our own town? So that's why we go after these grants. People say, don't go after them because it's going to cost us taxpayers dollars. No, that's already money that's out there waiting to come back to us. So that's the point of the grant funding. That's why we're going after it, is because not all that money came from us. It came from a lot of people in a lot of towns and a lot of areas. That's for the state. The state comes from all over the state. We want it brought to our town. Now, when you talk federal, that's money that comes from everywhere, all over the country. We want that money to come to our town. That's why we're fighting so hard for these things. Now, the $1 million grant, everyone's asking, why senior relief? Why? This was the first mission I had when we first got into office, is I wanted relief for these residents, and it's taken us this long to find a path to get there. We are fighting extremely hard to get this grant funding. It does cost some funding to get more money to bring back to our community. Everyone has to understand you have to spend money to get more money. It's not something that, as the attorney had said, it's not something we just thought of overnight. This is stuff that has been in the works, and unfortunately, sometimes we can't put that stuff out all on the table, because then there's other people fighting for that same money, or there's other people trying to stop us from building a sewer plant, or wastewater treatment plant, I'm sorry. And there's bigger bullies out there that want to stop us and keep their foot on us because they don't want us to be independent. So I'm thankful to those residents who understand that process. I hope those who don't understand that process can get on the bandwagon or have a conversation. Again, conversations are great. I do want a little clarity though, just to be transparent. When we say handcuff ourselves from Illinois American Water, that's for future residents, right? The current residents, we're not forgetting about you. We're not leaving you in the dust. We're not leaving you behind. You are the ones we're really fighting for when we go through all these Illinois American Water issues that were going on. Again, a lot of it can't be spoken of publicly, but we are continuing to fight with Illinois American Water on these rate increases, anomalies, all that fun stuff. So wanted to be clear on that. Is there any more discussion on this? Trustee Lepore?
Yes, I'd just like to say one more thing, Madam Mayor. We've been working extremely hard as a village to bring this path forward. And I want to call on our residents, I want to call on everyone to, let's put the bickering behind us. Let's put the politics behind us. Let's work together to get this plan, this initiative, moving in the direction it needs to go. This is a good thing for everyone within the Village of Homer Glen, and everyone should be working toward this positive goal. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason. Aye. Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Muller. Aye. Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 5, consider for approval an ordinance amending Chapter 69, Animals of the Code of the Village of Homer Glen. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Mason, is there a second? Trustee Reinders? Trustee Mason, I see Mr. Kuss coming up.
Yep, I think this is pretty standard. I'd like to thank Code Compliance Officer Ron Kuss. This is just updates to our village code as is due to the village's unique layout. We have terminology that states dogs running at large prohibited, but it really should be animals running at large because we have all types. I've seen sheep on the road, I've seen horses, and I've seen just about everything out there. This is wording that needs to be changed in order to allow our village to formally adopt the Illinois Humane Care for Animals Act 510 ILCS 70. This would allow staff to have clear authority to investigate and enforce animal welfare standards in our community. And again, I thank Officer Ron Kuss. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Reinders?
Thank you, Mayor. Basically, I think we are just going to be mirroring the state laws. And I think what it's going to allow us to do, it's going to allow us to have a better option of enforcement in the village. So I have no problem with this.
Trustee Schaller?
No comment.
Trustee Muller? I have no issue. Trustee Lepore?
No comment, thank you.
Trustee Holzhauser?
No comment.
Mr. Kuss, do you have anything you want to add?
No comment.
Great job, by the way. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Muller. Aye. Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 6, consider for approval initiating the process for various text amendments to the zoning ordinance case HG 2604-A. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Trustee Holzhauser, Trustee Mason, Trustee Holzhauser?
No, more housekeeping.
Trustee Mason?
It's exactly it. More housekeeping. Oftentimes inconsistencies or contradictions are in there and we have to clean them up.
Trustee Lepore?
No issues, thank you, ma'am.
Trustee Reinders?
No issues, thank you.
Trustee Muller?
No issues.
Trustee Schaller?
No issues.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Muller. Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Motion carries. Since there's no workshop, we're going to move on to old business. Follow-up and required action regarding exportation of a tax increment financing, which is called a TIF district, for 159th Street corridor. Mr. Baber, you're the one on the contact.
Yes, thank you. We've talked about this briefly back in September, and again, at the September 24th Village Board meeting, Development Director Patch had put on a presentation regarding TIF districts. Since that time, she has been in contact and with some TIF attorneys and consultants, and I would defer at this time to give her the chance to present what she's found out in discussions with these attorneys and consultants. Janie?
Sure, thank you. Well, I can keep this real simple. You can hear my mic? Because I don't necessarily hear.
It sounds like it's on, but it's
Okay,
very
good.
faint. But
All right. Basically, a briefing from TIF experts could be set up for the board if the board so desires. It would be an appropriate next step in terms of just trying to provide more information than you've already received, have a chance to answer, get some questions out there and get them answered. And it could be done in a committee of the whole or during a workshop at a regular meeting. I did talk with one of the TIF attorneys who was a presenter at the IML TIF seminar last September. And he would be available to come as soon as your meeting let's see here, I think it was March 11th. February doesn't work, the end of March doesn't, but March 11th does, or it could be a future date of your choice. And he could bring with him a TIF consultant. You really need both a TIF attorney and a TIF consultant to work with you for not only the setup formation of a TIF district, but also the ongoing management of it. The briefing could just focus on the process so that you understand, what is this tool? What does it take to create a TIF district? What's it mean? And when's the right time to do this? So that's basically it. That's what I have for you right now.
Okay.
That opportunity is available if you would like to execute it.
you said March 11th?
March 11th.
I'm going to defer to Trustee Schaller. I know that's like 6 weeks away.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and you know that this is near and dear to my heart. I think this board is well aware of what's needed for a TIF district. I don't know if the Economic Development Department needs a motion in order to move forward with something that is not, that has more meaning from us, that we actually take some action of maybe going out for an RFQ regarding that.
So we can ask, is the attorney saying we can get a consensus to move forward? You don't,
Okay.
I mean, because it's not on the agenda, so technically a motion isn't.
Okay, well, I think I specifically requested this to be an action item. We had a consensus last time, and we seem to be having these consensuses all the time. And we're just, we'll be into 27 by the time this is done.
Right.
So this is a whole long year process to move forward. So I'm just trying to get a gauge here of where our staff is at moving this needle.
So, yeah, so we can direct staff to go ahead and just move forward with this. You don't need like a consensus or a motion or anything of that. I guess what Ms. Patch is asking is if more of like a training or like a lesson of how the TIF districts work. I'm not so sure if everybody on this board understands the start to the finish, or even if the residents understand the start to the finish of how a TIF district works. But if everyone feels comfortable enough and they know how it works, we could just move forward and go ahead and start. Trustee Mason?
I think.
Were you done? I'm sorry, Trustee Schaller, were you done? I'm sorry, I did call you.
Go
but were you
ahead,
done?
Trustee.
He had signaled.
Okay.
I think, and I agree with Trustee Schaller, I think the sooner the better the TIF district comes into play. I don't want to get beat up for bringing in consultant firms or anything like that, but sometimes you have to pay for things that you want. Madam Mayor, I also agree with what you're stating. You're stating you want it for transparency. As you had mentioned earlier about other things, a workshop or something where we can get it out to the public and our residents for better understanding. I get that. But I am concurring with Trustee Schaller that the sooner the better. The TIF district helps us to grow the commercial corridor down 159th Street. It gives opportunities for businesses to come in and defer their taxation to a later date to get that corridor developed. And I think Trustee Scheller's been on top of this. He's been pressing for it. We have come together in unison at this board, agreeing, let's move forward several different times. But I do understand your position on it, Madam Mayor.
But if the board feels comfortable, we don't have to, but maybe, because this is a nice presentation, what's in this packet. Maybe we can get this on, like a link, put it on Facebook, put it on our website, put it out there, so if somebody does want to understand or learn about it, maybe, we've got a PR person now that can maybe read it and explain it as it goes along. So if anybody does want to learn about it, they have this, and if they have questions, maybe then they can reach out to Mrs. Patch, maybe, I don't know.
I should say that anybody that is an expert in this is going to first tell you that you need a current comprehensive plan as step one. That's the first step. So I know that we've already hired a consultant who is going to begin bringing the comp plan update forward, and my understanding should be done by the end of this year. You really need that step done first, because a TIF consultant will be relying on the guidance and the prioritization of sites that come out of a policy agreement in order to create the feasibility and meet the criteria for setting up a TIF. It's actually one of the first things that you have to do.
Okay.
So we're at that point where we're getting ready to do this. A briefing, if you wanted it, for information purposes, is there if you want it. But to go out for RFQ right now, in order to hire, they would be needing to wait until we had our updated comp plan before you would want to move forward with, they might be able to do some top level, but to dig into sites and actually qualify them as TIF districts, it is a requirement that they should align with the comprehensive plan.
Okay, I'm going to ask the attorney to step in for just a second to address.
Well, I think it makes sense to maybe explore with the TIF consultant now to find out how this process can be sped up. I think that's what Trustee Scheller's point is, that we don't want it to wait, and I know that everybody's working towards that goal, but let's try to think out of the box and maybe get in contact with the consultant now and see if there's any other way that we can demonstrate a necessity along that corridor outside of waiting for that comprehensive plan. My understanding is that you need to demonstrate a necessity for that purpose, that the area would not be developed but for this TIF district being put there. So let's think out of the box, get with the consultant, and see if this process can be sped up. That would be my recommendation.
Trustee Scheller?
Madam Mayor, Director Patch, I believe we can try to do this in parallel. I believe 159th Street, from our previous plan, there's not going to be that much of a change. I look forward to having somebody come speak to us in March at a high level. Maybe not that high of a level. I think we need to get our feet dirty and actually start attempting to figure out if this is an actual, if we meet the criteria, then we have to go out to RFQ and run in parallel with a comprehensive plan, doing things at the same time, because again, timing is everything, and I don't believe that waiting an additional year, getting into 27, because the comp plan's not going to be done until July, is beneficial for this village.
So you agree that we should have this professional come out, or this consultant come out in March?
I believe from what I asked for in September at the meeting, when there was a consensus, it was pretty much the same thing. So we're just doing it again now in this meeting. I requested that because I listened to the YouTube video of our meeting, and that's what I requested. So yes, that's where we're trying to get to eventually.
Okay, so schedule a meeting for March 11th for him to come in. If that's a board meeting? So we'll have a COW, we'll have a committee of the whole? Yeah. Yes?
previous committee of the whole guys. Help me out with the name.
Boris?
Ari.
Ara?
Yeah, Boris. He has to come in on, or is he the 19th?
He's February.
He was,
And
I just don't want to double book, that's all.
that's a regular meeting workshop.
so Boris would be a regular scheduled workshop in the meeting, and then we'll have a committee of the whole.
Double book it.
Okay, so in the meanwhile, while you're booking that, if you could kindly ask him if there's anything else we could be doing until then, so we could start, as in Trustee Schaler's words, run parallel to move this along faster.
Just FYI, the comprehensive plan that ACS is going to be doing should be starting in March as well. So that process will be starting right after they're doing the organizational portion of it. So that's already going to be in the works.
Madam Mayor, is it possible to reach out to ACS to see if we can
move that along?
Move that along, and I'm sure that they can do multiple tasks at the same time.
I'll reach out to them tomorrow.
Thank you.
Anybody have any more sentiments on this? No? All right. We all know what to do, right? All right. Moving on to old business number 2, continued update regarding ALPR agreement and discussions with Will County State's Attorney's Office on MOU.
Yeah, went very positive. I had a conversation with the new chief of the Civil Division for the Will County State's Attorney's Office, who needed to check on a couple of things. As Trustee Schaler had previously noted, and as the village had set forth back when we went down the ALPR, when there was approval for the ALPR cameras or data collection devices, there are 2 strict requirements that the village has. One, that it's a minimum, there's a restrictive data retention policy of 7 days, period. That's a hard stop. An MOU, which is a memorandum of understanding, would bind the individual sheriff's officers through a command order to ensure that that 7-day retention policy is being abided by and followed. We, as a village, as a village officer, we can't direct a contract employee to do something or not do something. An MOU is the teeth that we can put affirmative requirements upon various sheriff's officers to ensure that they're doing their obligations and duties to the village properly in accordance with our policy. So that's one aspect of it, and then that'll tie in with the actual ALPR agreement rider that's in the works right now with Flock.
Trustee Mason?
Trustee Schaler and I discussed it. We talked about the 7-day retention. It worries me a little bit because what if a crime is committed, a house robbery, an invasion, whatever the case may be, transpires and it's 15 days. Do we still have access to that information? They cannot retrieve it? What is the case?
Probably the best person.
That information is gone. In 7 days, it's gone. So again, it is a very narrow window. It's specifically, the MOU that we're working on is very specific about that. It is taking residents' issues regarding Big Brother oversight and taking that to 7 days, and then all the information is gone. And only information is accessible by the Will County Sheriff's Department. So there's not another police jurisdiction, probably in the state of Illinois, that has a 7-day window.
And I understand that, and it's my questioning because I worry, and I think we should meet somewhere in the middle, like maybe a 15-day. A lot of them are 30 to 90-day, and I get that. And I understand that the public is worried about the retention of data and misusage, but at the same time, there's no sense of getting these if we can't solve the crime.
I understand your position. I'm going to disagree. I believe that 7 days is a sweet spot. If something changes and we look back, 6 months, 12 months, and we start hearing from the Will County Sheriff's Department that we're missing solving crimes because of our 7-day window, I guess that's something that we could come forward and speak about then, but I think the 7-day window is ideal.
Okay, so I agree with you at this time, but we do have the ability to change that further down the line if we find out where we've got a hole. As we said prior to some of the things that had transpired in the village over the last year or so, we were the hole. And we had other surrounding villages, cities, neighborhoods that were able to pick up the slack, so to speak. I don't want to become that hole again, and it's a waste of money at that point. So we have the ability, and I just want to make sure I have the understanding, to change this MOU at a later date if we deem necessary.
I'll defer to the attorney, but I do believe we could change that MOU.
Thank you, Trustee Shaw.
Yes, that is an affirmative yes. I've been working with the Will County Sheriff's Office, the Undersheriff Jungles, in addition with Trustee Schaller, on all these mechanics, we like to say, in the legal world. Yeah, it would have the flexibility to be able to be amended, an MOU. It's a lot easier from what we've been discussed to get an MOU changed or MOU enacted than it is to have a intergovernmental agreement changed. That would have to go through the whole Will County Board. This is something that can be approved directly from the Sheriff's Office as its own separate unit of government, although it's funded by the county. It is a standalone, unit of government, for lack of a better word, and they are authorized to put together these MOUs like this. So would there be a change involved in that, at that stage? Yes, potentially there would be, but it's a lot quicker process.
Thank you, Mr. Pasquinelli. I appreciate that.
Anybody else have anything on it? Nope. All right. We're going to move on. Is there any more old business? Any new business? The only new business I ask is that for the next agenda, if we can please put on, because Trustee Schaller and I are going to meet with the Environment Committee on Monday. So I'd like at the next meeting to have appointments for the Environment Committee, Committee of the Whole, and the Ability Awareness, because I know we have 2 new members that want to join the Ability Awareness. Okay? I am not Committee of the Whole. Community Development Committee, I'm sorry. Okay. We're going to move into executive session for the purposes of 1, discussion regarding personnel, 2, discussion regarding pending and ongoing litigation, 3, discussion regarding public utilities, 4, executive session minutes. Is that all?
That's it, Your Honor.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to go into executive session.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll see you back in 5.